Everyone has moments of pain, moments when the world seems to close in and the weight of our struggles feels unbearable. These are the times when we question everything, when we feel the most vulnerable and alone. I remember a time when I felt lost. It was as if I was wandering through a fog, unable to see the path ahead. The days blurred together and I felt disconnected from everything and everyone around me. It was a cold winter evening. My mother was sick. The chill in the air seemed to seep into my bones, mirroring the cold fear that gripped my heart. I walked the streets aimlessly, trying to escape the reality that awaited me at the hospital. She had been in the hospital for weeks. Each day felt like an eternity, filled with uncertainty and dread. The sterile smell of the hospital, the beeping of machines, and the hushed conversations of doctors and nurses became the backdrop of my life. I felt helpless and scared. The waiting room became my second home, a place where time stood still. I would sit there, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios, my heart heavy with fear. Every day was a struggle. Getting out of bed felt like an insurmountable task. The weight of my worries pressed down on me, making even the simplest of tasks feel overwhelming. The nights were the hardest. In the quiet darkness, my thoughts would spiral out of control. I would lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, unable to find any peace or rest. I would lie in bed, staring at the ceiling. The silence was deafening, amplifying my fears and anxieties. I felt trapped in my own mind, unable to escape the relentless thoughts that plagued me. Tears would roll down my cheeks. I would cry silently, not wanting to wake anyone. The tears were a release, but they also reminded me of my pain and helplessness. I would ask, "Why, God? Why?" I felt so alone. The questions echoed in my mind, unanswered and relentless. I longed for comfort, for a sign that everything would be okay. My friends tried to comfort me. They would sit with me, offering words of encouragement and support. Their presence was a reminder that I was not completely alone. But their words felt empty. No matter how much they tried, they couldn't truly understand the depth of my pain. I appreciated their efforts, but it wasn't enough to fill the void I felt inside. It was as if no one understood my pain. I felt isolated, even in a room full of people. The world continued to move around me, but I felt stuck, unable to move forward. I would pray, but felt like my prayers were hitting a wall. I would pour out my heart, seeking solace and answers, but it felt like my words were lost in the void. I began to wonder if God was even listening. Doubt crept in, and I questioned my faith. Was I truly alone in this struggle? Was there any hope for relief? The days felt long and heavy. Each step felt like a burden, and the weight of my worries seemed to grow with each passing day. I longed for a sense of peace, for a glimmer of hope. I needed hope, but it seemed so far away. The future felt uncertain, and I struggled to find any light in the darkness. I yearned for something to hold on to, something to guide me through the storm. One night I decided to read the Bible. It was a desperate attempt to find some comfort, some answers. I hoped that the words would bring me the peace I so desperately needed. It had been a while since I opened it. The pages were dusty, a testament to how long it had been since I sought solace in its words. But I was determined to find something, anything that could help me. I came across Psalm 34, verse 18. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Those words resonated with me, offering a glimmer of hope. Those words touched me deeply. It was as if they were written just for me, a reminder that I was not alone in my suffering. I felt a sense of comfort and reassurance that I hadn't felt in a long time. I realized I was not alone. In that moment, I felt a connection to something greater than myself. I felt the presence of God, offering me strength and comfort. God was with me, even in my pain. I found solace in the knowledge that I was not alone, that there was a higher power watching over me. It gave me the strength to face each day with renewed hope and faith. Many people feel distant from God when they suffer. Pain makes us feel isolated. We wonder why God allows us to hurt. It is easy to believe that He has forgotten us. We might think, if God cares, why do I suffer? These thoughts are common. It is part of being human. During tough times, our faith can waver. We may stop praying or going to church. The pain feels too great. We might even feel angry at God. This anger can push us further away from Him. We start to doubt His love. This is a normal reaction to suffering, but feeling distant does not mean God is far. God understands our pain, He knows our struggles, He is always there, even if we cannot feel Him. Just like a parent watches over a sleeping child, God watches over us. Our pain does not go unnoticed by Him. God's omniscience means He knows everything, every thought, every feeling, every tear. He is aware of all our struggles. He is not a distant being, unaware of our pain. He is deeply connected to us. He cares about every aspect of our lives. God's compassion is endless. He feels our pain. He mourns with us. His heart breaks when ours does. This is the nature of God. He is not indifferent to our suffering. He is a loving Father who wants to comfort us. He is always ready to listen. When we suffer, we can take comfort in knowing that God is with us. He walks with us through the valleys. He holds us when we cry. He is our refuge and strength. His love is unwavering. We may not understand why we suffer, but we can trust that God is with us. Section 4. Scriptural evidence of God's awareness. The Bible, a sacred text revered by millions, is a profound source of wisdom and comfort. It is filled with narratives that illustrate God's intimate knowledge of human experiences, especially our suffering and struggles. The Bible is full of stories showing God's awareness of human suffering. These stories span across different times and cultures, yet they all convey a consistent message. God is deeply aware of our pain and is always present in our lives. One powerful example is the story of Job. This ancient tale is a testament to the endurance of faith amidst unimaginable hardship. Job was a righteous man who faced immense suffering. Despite his unwavering faith and integrity, he was subjected to severe trials. He lost his children, his wealth, and his health. His life, once filled with prosperity and joy, was suddenly overshadowed by grief and despair. Despite his pain, Job remained faithful to God. His story is a profound example of steadfast faith and trust in divine wisdom, even when circumstances seem insurmountable. God was aware of Job's suffering and eventually restored his fortunes. This restoration was not just a return to his former state, but a blessing that surpassed his previous prosperity. Another example is the story of Hagar. Her story is a poignant reminder that God's awareness extends to everyone, regardless of their status or background. Hagar was an Egyptian maidservant who faced rejection and despair. She was cast out into the wilderness, feeling abandoned and hopeless. When she fled into the desert, God found her. In her moment of deepest despair, God reached out to her, offering comfort and hope. He comforted her and promised that her son, Ishmael, would become a great nation. This promise was a beacon of hope for Hagar, assuring her that she and her son were not forgotten. Hagar called God El Roi, which means the God who sees me. This name encapsulates the profound realization that God is always watching over us, aware of our struggles and ready to provide solace. In the New Testament, Jesus himself experienced suffering. His life and death are the ultimate testament to God's empathy and understanding of human pain. He was betrayed, beaten, and crucified. These events highlight the extent of his suffering and his willingness to endure pain for the sake of humanity. He understands our pain because he lived it. Jesus' experiences on earth were marked by profound suffering, making him a compassionate and empathetic figure. Jesus' suffering shows us that God is not distant. Instead, he is intimately involved in our lives, sharing in our joys and sorrows. He is with us in our darkest moments. Whether we are facing personal trials or collective hardships, God's presence is a source of unwavering support. These stories remind us that God sees our pain. He knows our struggles. They serve as powerful reminders that we are never alone in our suffering. He is always aware and always caring. God's awareness is not passive. It is active and compassionate, always seeking to provide comfort and guidance. We can find comfort in his presence and his promises. In times of distress, turning to these scriptural stories can offer profound solace and reassurance, reminding us of God's eternal love and care. Section 5, Comfort in Faith, Real-Life Stories. In this chapter, we delve into the profound impact that faith can have on individuals during the most challenging periods of their lives. These stories are not just tales of survival, but of triumph, resilience, and the unyielding human spirit. Many people have found comfort in faith during tough times. It is in these moments of despair and uncertainty that faith often shines the brightest, providing a beacon of hope and a source of strength. One such story is of Corrie ten Boom. Corrie, a Dutch watchmaker, lived a life that was deeply rooted in her Christian faith. During World War II, Corrie and her family hid Jews from the Nazis. They risked their lives to protect those who were being persecuted, driven by their unwavering belief in the sanctity of all human life. They were eventually caught and sent to concentration camps. The horrors they faced were unimaginable, yet Corrie's faith remained unshaken. Despite the horrors she faced, Corrie held on to her faith. She found solace in her belief that God was with her, even in the darkest times. She believed that God was with her, even in the darkest times. Her story is a testament to the power of faith in providing comfort and strength when everything else seems lost. Another story is that of Joni Eareckson Tada. Joni's life took a dramatic turn when she was just 17. At the age of 17, Joni became paralyzed from the neck down after a diving accident. The sudden and drastic change in her life was overwhelming. She faced immense physical and emotional pain. The journey to acceptance and finding a new purpose was long and arduous, but Joni found strength in her faith. Her belief in God provided her with the courage to face each day and the hope to look forward to the future. She became a symbol of hope for many, showing that God's love can overcome any obstacle. Joni's story is a powerful reminder that faith can transform even the most dire circumstances into opportunities for growth and inspiration. Nick Vujicic is another inspiring story. Born without arms and legs, Nick's life was filled with challenges from the very beginning. Born without arms and legs, Nick faced many challenges. The physical limitations were significant, but the emotional and psychological hurdles were perhaps even greater. But he did not let his physical condition define him. Nick's faith played a crucial role in his journey towards self-acceptance and finding his purpose in life. Through his faith, Nick found purpose and joy. He discovered that his life had meaning beyond his physical limitations. He travels the world, sharing his story and inspiring others. Nick's message is one of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of faith. These stories show that faith can provide comfort in the most difficult times. They illustrate how belief in a higher power can offer a sense of peace and purpose, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. They remind us that God is always with us, no matter what we face. In moments of despair, faith can be the light that guides us through the darkness. We can find strength and hope in His love. These real-life stories are a testament to the enduring power of faith and its ability to provide comfort, strength, and hope in the face of adversity. Section 6. Trusting God's plan. Trusting God's plan can be challenging. When we suffer, we question His intentions. We wonder why He allows pain, but God has a purpose for everything. His plans are greater than we can understand. He sees the bigger picture while we see only a part of it.